It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. Congrats, your business is doing great. All your hard work is paying off, but you need help like now, and you have to hire fast. How can you hire amazing candidates quickly? Easy, just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. And with sponsored jobs, your posts jump to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the things I love most about Indeed is that it has one of the largest databases of job seekers, giving employers access to a wide range of candidates. And with job alerts, I get notified when new candidates apply. And with Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. So how fast? Well, in the minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/smartpassive. Just go to Indeed.com/smartpassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/smartpassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, is all you need. The perfect product launch. It's the goal for every brand marketer. High heat, fast sellout, and fans posting recipes like trophies. What do Sydney Sweeney's soap drop, Taylor Swift's tickets, and your next launch have in common? Well, they're not bought, they're bragged about. Fanfare turns your drop into a moment. Fanfare cues real fans, blocks bots, and builds launch experiences worth screenshotting. Want hype without the heartbreak? Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook with our proven success formula and make your next launch unforgettable at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, fanfare.io/playbook. This is a Smart Passive Income Podcast with Pat Flynn, session number 52.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host, who sports a personalized backpack at conferences, Pat Flynn.
While DIY website tools are everywhere, most fall short on design and performance. Hit publish. Framer ships your site worldwide in seconds. No code, no compromises. Framer is a powerful, user-friendly platform that delivers developer-level results without writing a single line of code. Make your designs move and convert with Framer. Framer brings your site to life with powerful animations, dynamic content handling, and a design-first approach that helps your site stand out. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. Browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something of your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, scroll and looping animations, and much more in seconds. And it's free to start. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting of generating starter layouts and can even translate your entire site to any language. On the back end, you'll get responsive breakpoints, built-in hosting, a flexible CMS, and privacy-friendly analytics. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at Framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's Framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. Do you know the secret to businesses that are scaling faster than ever? They're using Upwork to tap into a diverse pool of skilled freelancers across various industries. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts who are ready to help you take your business to the next level. I've personally used Upwork myself and can vouch for it. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help you grow your business. That's Upwork.com. Again, Upwork.com. Hey, what's up? This is Pat Flynn, and welcome to session 52 of the Smart Passive Income Podcast. Thank you for joining me today. It is mid-December here in 2012, which means a number of things have just happened or are on the horizon. First, I just turned 30 years old, which is crazy. I mean, I know I'm still relatively young, but 30 just sounds so much older than 29, right? I mean, it's just a year, but it sounds so much older, at least it does to me. Thank you all for your wonderful birthday wishes on Facebook, Twitter, emails. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Secondly, mid-December means that New Media Expo is coming up very soon. I'll be attending this year once again like I have in the most recent past. And if you're going to be there too, this year it is in Vegas at the Rio Hotel in early January. If you are going to be there, please come up to me and just say hi. I'll be wearing a red and white backpack. It says, "Hello, my name is Pat" on it. And if you see it, just tap me on the shoulder. I would love to meet you and say hi. You know, I'm just a regular dude. There is no need to be frightened, and I promise I will brush my teeth. It should be fun. And I have a presentation to give. I'm up for a couple of podcast awards, and I have you to thank for that, by the way. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. And finally, mid-December means that the new year is just around the corner for all of us. You know, a new year, a new set of goals for many of you, and a new set of achievements are going to happen. Seriously, it's time to unlock the next stage of your life. And I'm speaking in gamer terms here, but unlock those achievements. 2013 is the year to do it. And to help you along and to inspire you, I have a great show for you today with a great guest that I'm sure you're going to love. His name is Steve Nixon, and he's a jazz musician and teacher who's going to talk about what he's doing online to make money, how it all started. We'll go through the launch of one of his products and all that good stuff. So let's just get right to it. So Steve, how's it going, my man?
Pat, it's going great. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thank you. And again, thank you for coming on the show today and sharing the website that you have going on. Actually, I want to ask you, just share with everybody, what's your website and how did you start?
I am the proud owner of freejazzlessons.com. And how I started was, I'm a full-time professional musician, and I've been touring and performing and teaching music for years. And at the same time, I've always sort of been an internet geek and loved the power of connecting with people through the internet. And I have several good friends who are in the internet marketing space. So it just sort of made sense for me to start posting some of my teaching and my lessons online.
Okay, so freejazzlessons.com, is there any specific reason why you chose that specific domain? Because I know a lot of my audience is going to be like, oh, well, freejazzlessons.com, everyone's going to come to the site expecting stuff for free.
Right.
What was the decision behind the choice of the domain name?
Well, it was a couple things. First of all, 98, that's not an exact number, but the vast majority of my content is free. I do have a instructional DVD, a couple of them that I sell on the site, but most of it's free information just for people all over the world to learn more about music. It's sort of my way of giving back to people. It's really been an exciting experience, though. It seems like the more free stuff I give, the more people are interested in buying like a DVD from you, which has really been an amazing experience,
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about that DVD when it came out and all that stuff. But let's start from the beginning. So you create freejazzlessons.com. You just how did you start posting content? Obviously, you knew about jazz and you had lessons in your head to put on there. Did you start writing articles? Did you create videos? What was the kind of the first steps?
That's a great question. Okay, so here's what happened. Approximately around May of 2011, I was on a gig in Vegas, and a friend of mine who I mentioned earlier, who's an internet marketer, he's like, oh, you should post a couple lessons online. It'd really be good for, getting the word out about what you do. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, So I got motivated kind of, and I did one lesson, and then I got busy with gigs and teaching and life.
Mm-hmm.
And and I worked really hard on that lesson, but I just left it alone.
Was that like okay, so it was a YouTube video, sorry.
Exactly. Put it up on YouTube. And didn't really touch it for about 2 or 3 months. And I went back and looked, and I was like, this thing's got like 500 views, and I've got 17 subscribers to the channel. That's weird. Okay. So I was like, let me do a few more. And I did more, and then all of a sudden I started getting some traffic to the site, and more and more people started subscribing, and it's like, wow, actually really people are interested in this. I sort of thought like a lot of people, when you first start posting stuff, is anybody really going to be listening? Is there a point of doing this?
Mm-hmm.
There's one of my favorite lines from a Beatles song is from Eleanor Rigby is Father Mackenzie writing a sermon that nobody will hear,
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been a fear of mine, that I was going to be putting all the stuff out there and nobody would really give a darn.
Yeah.
But it worked, I kept on posting more stuff, and then I'd get emails from people, and the traffic went up. It was amazing. So,
yeah, I think that's a fear that a lot of people have, when they're posting content, especially right at the beginning. So the traffic came from YouTube primarily, I'm guessing. So you had your site first. You started freejazzlessons.com and then just started posting videos on YouTube that linked back to your website. Is that correct?
Exactly. And I knew about SEO to some degree from my personal website.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really understand it to the level that I do now. So I'd post like 2 sentences and then this video. And of course, there's definitely better strategies than just posting 2 sentences. So, but still, I did get some traffic even just from those 2 sentences. But nowadays, when I do like hundreds and hundreds of words per article and really go in depth into stuff, which is Google likes, and also the people who come to the site also like as well.
Right.
So.
Okay, so it was pretty much all natural traffic. You didn't pay for traffic. You didn't kind of put your stuff out there on other forums or other music sites. It was pretty much YouTube, right? Pretty
much, yeah. I post on a forum. I answer questions a lot. I don't do it as much as I used to, just because of the sort of the busyness of free jazz lessons at this point. But I was on pianoworld.com, and I used to just answer questions for people, and then they'd come check out the site. But I had been doing that for years, even before I had free jazz lessons. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that sounds similar to my experience with the lead exam. Actually, I was getting pretty popular on a related forum and getting people to my site that way. And again, just doing the same thing as you, just posting stuff that I knew and sharing as much as I could with the world, holding nothing back. And like you, the more I gave away after I started to build that community, the more it started to come back to me. Now, let's talk about your videos specifically, because obviously the videos that you're posting, they're working. So
yes.
How did you structure your videos, actually the content inside your videos, and how are you because I'm assuming you're not the only person in the world to create jazz lessons on YouTube. Like, what do you feel makes your videos stand out from everybody else's?
That's a great question. So I've gotten a lot better at doing them over the course of a period of time. Being able to, I sort of think of the video thing almost, especially like the introductions when I have my face on the camera, it's almost like public speaking in a certain way. Mm-hmm. So I've gotten new cameras. I really work on the angles. I make sure that I'm looking good. I'll do several takes if need be. At this point, almost everything is first take, but I feel like my videos are a little tighter production wise than maybe some of the other ones out there. With considering that I don't have a huge budget for video production. So I think there's a lot of generic stuff out there, and there's probably, it's probably really good lessons, but it's sort of like everybody's teaching sort of the same stuff. And I've tried to just sort of put my unique spin on the content that I'm putting out there.
What is your unique spin?
Well, one of the nice things that, in terms of sort of like what I've been able to do is I'm a performer and a teacher, and I'm very blessed that I've had an opportunity to like really, you know, I love teaching, and it's something that I will always do, even if I win the Powerball, which probably won't happen because I don't play the lottery, but you know. So even when I was like playing full time, I still taught. Like, you know, I used to teach out of like the hotel room on Skype and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
yeah, you know, so I do a lot of playing, like real in depth playing in my lessons, and I think that sort of separates me from some of the other people out there that I'm, you know, I can talk about, hey, here's this lick or whatever, and then I can demonstrate it, you know, and I would hope on a pretty high level. So
right, that's awesome. So you have this love for not only performing but teaching and performing at the same time. I think that's great. Let's talk about your cameras really quick. Now, when you first started out, what camera were you using, and then what are you using right now?
I was using Flip Ultra HD.
Okay, so flip cam, yeah.
Exactly. So, and it was about a year ago that I upgraded to a Sony cam.
Okay, is that still flip cam, or is it like an actual camcorder?
No, it's an actual camcorder. And I don't know if you want to cut this. I actually don't remember the model number. I can go look it up.
Oh, it's all right. No, it's cool.
Yeah. So
we can put it in the show notes or something. You could tell me afterwards. Okay. But what I want to do is actually want to, because a lot of people said the same things about my videos. Some of my first videos are terrible. I mean, they have good information, I think, but I can't look at them anymore because the quality was terrible. And I would love to show kind of a before and after. I mean, what was your first video or one of your first videos? And maybe pick one of your favorite latest videos so we can kind of compare.
Okay, good. All right, so the first video, like the first few videos I did an introduction video, and I was like super tight and rigid, and you know, I shot at night. I mean, and I didn't have lighting, and it was like all kinds of like rookie mistakes and stuff like that. So, and I was sort of like, I felt like I needed to, you know, be sort of almost like part of being professional, ironically, is showing a lot of your personality and being yourself. And I thought I needed to iron some of that out on video, which is weird because when I'm on stage, I never think that way. I'm always thinking I need to be myself. But the second you put that camera in front of me, I got confused, apparently.
No, that happens, yeah.
Yeah. So the first few videos were like content-wise, they were good, but I was sort of like dry in terms of my introduction, and like I said, the lighting wasn't particularly great. The latest videos that I think are pretty cool is I have some like jazz, like improvising over a particular type of jazz chord called a major seventh chord. That one I felt was pretty good. And I'm shooting more in the daylight now, and I'm trying to get my angling right, because one of the challenges that you have when shooting a piano is that you have to make sure that the piano is lined up 100% perfectly with the shot, and you don't want it to be even on like a slight angle because it just sort of like ruins the professionalism of the shot. I think actually one of my most popular videos ever, like the piano is like halfway crooked in my introduction shot, but the teaching is pretty good on it. But that was early on in the game, so.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually looking at your YouTube channel right now, and I'm going from oldest to newest, and I see your older videos have the piano in kind of an angle, and then all of a sudden, like 11 months ago, you switched to just flat.
Right, exactly.
It's pretty cool. And you start to introduce your face. Like I see your face in some of the later videos, which is pretty cool.
Right,
exactly. And then I see a few interviews. And these videos, even your latest ones, have over 1,000 views, and I see you have 1,500 subscribers, you know, 250,000 views. This is great, and all because you just started posting stuff, trying to help people out.
Exactly. It's. Oh, go ahead, Pat.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I love what you said about you know, part of being professional is showing your personality. I think a lot of people forget that, and I think that's not just with video too. It's with, you know, your blog posts, your podcast, or wherever. If you want to be professional, and if you really want people to kind of connect with you and your brand and whatever you're teaching, you definitely have to show a little bit of your personality, because it's people's personalities that we actually connect to. It's not necessarily the content that they provide, but who is behind that content.
Exactly. That's I couldn't agree with you more. And that's I think when I first found you, I mean, there was a lot of people who were maybe writing. I mean, nowhere near as good as you, Pat, but there was a lot of people who were sort of in the same space as you. And then and the first thing I saw was like, a picture of you with your son. So wait a second, this isn't the normal like, passive income type writer. This guy's got something different going on. So, you're a perfect example of that as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, it's funny because a lot of people comment on that specific picture. They mention, one of the first things I realized was that you have a picture of there with your son, and I don't see that anywhere. And I think it's funny because I didn't purposely put that on there to be like, hey, it's going to make me different from everybody else. But I think it ended up happening that way because people are, especially in the space that I'm in, internet marketing, blogging, entrepreneurship. It's they hide behind a lot of the stuff. But
I know.
So let's talk about your product now. Did you your product? What is your product exactly?
Okay, so what I did is I took the jazz improvisation styles of 9 great jazz piano masters, and I taught a course. I put together a course of how they're improvising, a study in their improvisation techniques and their chords.
Oh, that sounds pretty hardcore right there.
It was a lot of fun putting together. I learned a lot by doing it, and these are just some of my favorite players, and of course. I'm not the only one who loves these players. There's a lot of other people out there as well, who really enjoy them. So
it's an improv style course, and this is a DVD that they can get or a downloadable.
Exactly. It's both. It's offered in 3 different options. I have a streaming option, and then I have a physical copy option, and then I have the streaming plus the DVD, like a backup DVD, and people get free shipping from it as well.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Now, did you plan on creating this product when you first started your site?
Absolutely not, my friend. Absolutely not. I had a blues piano instructional DVD that I had done before. That was decently successful, but I really didn't know anything about internet marketing at that point. So, I was like, all right, well, that's cool. I guess, people aren't particularly super interested in buying products, like, improvisational products or piano products online. So I'll just put some stuff out there and, maybe some people would see it and it would get me a little exposure. But I kept on getting emails from people asking me, hey, do you have any lessons I can buy from you?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I just kept on getting more and more emails and people being like, I bought your blues DVD, but I'm hoping, do you have any lessons on Oscar Peterson that I can purchase or Bill Evans? And I said, I don't, I'm sorry. But so after like the 10th email of me getting this and then people commenting on this, I said, you know what, I got to put this together.
Awesome. And when, how far along was your site at that point? How many months or years had your site been up when you were like, okay, I got to make this product?
I started working on it about 7 or 8 months into the site. So, and then I waited. I mean, I just released it October. So, I waited a long time. I really worked hard in putting the product together, not only from the teaching standpoint, the technology and the production, but also just from the technology back, making sure that I could deliver this properly.
Right. Tell me about that really quick. How did you figure all that out?
Oh, man. Well, I think this post should be sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. Many late nights and coffee. Just trying to figure out how to put streaming video together. I mean, I looked at some options that were like thousands and thousands of dollars, and obviously I didn't have the budget or the resources for that. So I ended up using digital access pass as my background.
Right, I've heard of that. Yep.
Yeah, and that's been really nice. And I use Vimeo, nice. And there's like a lot of special for Vimeo Plus. There's a lot of special features you can use to help with protecting your content and things like that.
Okay, yeah, I've actually heard of that before. People posting content on YouTube for exposure and all the free stuff, and then kind of when they get into a membership site of some sort where they have to deliver video content, they upgrade sort of, I guess you could say, into Vimeo Plus because you can protect that content, keep it there just for your members. I don't know if there's a way to do that with YouTube. I know there's a way to share unlisted posts, but if anyone grabs that link, for example, anyone can watch that video. I believe I remember Glenn Alsop from Viper Chill. He has a bunch of videos on Vimeo that are like password protected, which
exactly.
And that's what you do. You have
exactly, and you can protect it. There's all kinds of different ways of protecting it, or you have to make sure that you only have a link, and it's that you can only embed it on certain sites. It's pretty slick. It's kind of neat how they do that stuff.
Awesome. Okay, so you create this product. Tell us how you promoted it on your site, or how you launched it, and what maybe was your first sale was like, or how soon that came.
Okay, cool. This is kind of a fun story. All right, so I've done like zero advertisement for it. It's all been through the email list, and then some mentions on YouTube, and then I do have a Facebook page that I use, but I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook.
Me too.
I think probably everybody listening can feel that way. As a musician, I was an early adopter on MySpace, and I saw the problems that existed with having all your audience on one social network that's controlled by someone else.
Right.
So I've really worked hard in terms of communicating with my audience through the email list, because it's the most direct way for me to engage with people on a personal and high level, and I'm in control of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, or at least to what I think I'm in control of. But so I just sent out, I did some I guess pre-launch material where I mentioned it through the email, and I gave away, of course, free content, because I'm always giving away free content as it is anyway.
So those were videos, the free stuff, some of the free stuff?
Videos, and also, pretty much just videos and lessons. But one of the other things is I notate all my lessons as well. Uh-huh. So I make sure that there's because there's, people learn in all kinds of different ways. Some people like to read stuff, some people want to look at just notation and print that out. So I try to take a multimedia approach to all my content. Mm-hmm. I just did some pre-launch emails, and then I told people when I was going to be launching, when the site was going to be up. And I had some the week before launch was one of the most stressful weeks of my life. All kinds of stuff went wrong. The site got hacked. It was it was
Murphy's Law definitely came.
Oh yeah. And the funny thing is, I don't regret actually setting a hard launch date, because I think maybe I still would have been trying to release this product to this day if I hadn't set that hard launch date. Mm-hmm. So, and it was only hacked for a very brief period of time. I'm really on top of the back end of the site, and I could immediately see something was wrong.
That's crazy. Just sucks.
it was right after it happened. I actually just crawled back into bed for 10 minutes. I was like, all right, maybe I'm not cut out for this internet
fetal
stuff,
position. Oh god.
Pretty much, man. It was bad. It was bad. But I licked my wounds and got back out of bed about 15 minutes later. So and so then I launched, and it was kind of weird. I think I launched at 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time on I think it was either October 8th or October 17th. I can't remember. And for whatever reason, something went wrong at home, and I got distracted, and I wasn't able to be at my email to see what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I had to head out, and I came back 45 minutes after the launch. And honestly, Pat, I thought maybe I would sell 50 or 60 copies. I really just didn't know. Looking back, there was so many signals from data and user interaction and the amount of visitors to the site and the email list that it was going to be more successful than that. But I just didn't know. And I had sold 60 copies in 45 minutes.
Oh, that is awesome.
It was surreal, Pat.
That is so cool.
I mean, I checked. I kept on checking my PayPal account. Like, is this really happening? Like, is this a joke? Am I? I was pinching myself. It was crazy. So
That's awesome. It's so weird that because I felt I felt the exact same way. I went through the exact same emotions as you. I launched it, and then I was just like, I'm not really expecting much. And for me, I was like, I would be happy with one sale just to know that one person got it. And then that first day, I had like a dozen, and then more came in, and it was just. You did a lot better at the actual launch process with pre-launch material and stuff. I didn't do that on Green Exam Academy. I didn't even know what pre-launch meant.
Right.
So this is good that people can start to hear this and see that works. So that's really cool. So you have, all your channels, your YouTube, your website, and I think it was the email list really that drove home those sales that quickly. Would you say that's right?
Yeah, I would say that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement.
How many people on your list, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now, I have about 2,500 people on the list. But that number keeps getting bigger every month from an exponential standpoint. And also, I think a lot of people, because I've got the subscribers on YouTube and stuff like that, I think a lot of people are sort of interacting with me through YouTube as well. Mm-hmm. But that's a little bit harder to quantify in terms of like, an email open rate. I can look and be like, okay, cool. 40% of people open this email. And
40%, is that normal for you?
No, actually it's a little higher.
Oh, awesome. That's great. I mean, that means you have good engagement and people actually want your emails. I think industry standard is like 20, even less than that, 15%.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's sort of the thing is that I'm giving almost like, I don't know. I know that I've seen formulas of like, some of these internet marketing guys are like, okay, 7 free content and then drop the boom on people, try to make a sale. And I'm like 39 to 1 or something like that. Maybe I could shift it more, but it's not, but I think if I would have shifted more, I wouldn't have had people buying as many DVDs when I launched.
Right, exactly. You're building a relationship with them through your email. Exactly.
And my philosophy on all this is really it's about user interaction. And I know this sounds very bizarre, but like I'm really, I understand how business works. I've been doing music full time for over a decade now, and you really have to know business in order to do music full time for that long. But at the same time, I actually don't think like dollars when I'm creating content. I think about making interaction with my users better, and then that just leads to money. And I'm not even worried about that. It just sort of like I know that if I make my users' experience better. Mm-hmm. For example, I just paid some money to speed up the site. That's gonna make the user interaction better for everybody else. I know that'll probably make me more money in the long run, but I don't care. It's just it's about making the experience better for my users. So
yeah, that's I couldn't have said that any better. I mean, that's exactly what all this really should be about. In every sort of point of interaction that you have with your audience, it should just be awesome, and they're gonna want to pay you back.
Exactly. And I think I've got, I get some emails from people being like, I'm a beginner, but I like what you do, and I'm a fan of your red hair or whatever, so yeah. They've only been playing piano for like 15 minutes, but they bought the product anyways, which was really awesome.
Oh, that's really cool.
If any of my listeners are listening, thank you so much for the support so far.
Dude, this is a great inspirational story. Now, I just want to finish off by asking you sort of what maybe one or two additional tips. I mean, you've gave some great tips already, but one or two additional tips for maybe someone who hasn't even started yet or who has just started and is not really seeing results. Like, based on your experience, what would you tell someone like that?
Okay, wow, that's a great question. All right, so this is sort of the thing that I would suggest people do is I would suggest that they find something that's sort of unique to them, their own unique spin on things, and just start trying to create within the context of that concept. So, for me, I'm a pretty good player. I've got, I can teach. I'm an internet geek, and
You got red hair.
I got red hair, and I like posting videos, and so that sort of intersection of all those allowed me to find kind of a space that I felt that I can contribute at a higher level than maybe some of the other stuff out there, or at least to the level that I feel comfortable. How about that?
Yeah, no, that's a great tip. I mean, we've talked about that on the blog plenty of times. There's different ways to describe it. I think it was Lane Amon who came on in an interview. I forget what actually podcast episode it was, but she talked about a quote that she heard from Jack Bourne, which was to use your unfair advantage in any way you can.
Right, exactly.
And her unfair advantage was, she was in the scrapbooking industry, so she knew all the important people in the scrapbooking industry, and got all those people connected, and did like a webinar summit type thing for scrapbooking, and now she's making six figures off of scrapbooking. And
Exactly. In terms of other tips, I would also recommend that people just, a lot of people are always making excuses. I see this all the time from like the private lessons I've taught over the years. They find reasons of why they can't do fill in the blank. You just kind of got to shut off that voice. Just start posting. You don't have to have all the answers right from the get-go. Just start putting some content out there, get some data, get some feedback from people, and just start projecting from there. I'll give you a perfect example. So I personally love interviews. I love, I'm a fan of your podcast, and from a musician standpoint, like I've always loved it when someone's got, an interview with Carlos Santana or, Pat Metheny's drummer, for example, or you fill in the blank, any really big name. And I've always loved that stuff. So I've done some of those over the years on my site, and I thought, I was like, oh, people are going to love this because I love this. But the weird thing is, now that I start putting this stuff out there and I got data, I realized that even though I love it, my audience doesn't love it as much as I do. Mm-hmm. So by putting stuff out there, I was able to look at data and be like, hey, you know what? People aren't as interested in this type of content. But you really just don't know until you start putting stuff out there. And just sort of looking at what do people like, and to quote once again that my favorite Eleanor Rigby line, it's not about just putting stuff out there that no one's going to listen to. It's really about having an audience and engaging with people.
Yeah, and perfect. I can't. That's such a great way to put it. I mean, all of us who put content online, I mean, we really have no idea what's going to work and what doesn't until we start putting stuff out there. And if you just say to yourself, well, I don't know if this is going to work or not, well, yeah, you're right. Put it out there and see if it works. Exactly. And then go from there. So, dude, Steve, thank you so much for being on the show. This is going to inspire a lot of people. I think it's a great story, and I wish you all the best of luck with your site, your current products, and future products that you may have. If people want to look you up and see your red hair, where would they want to go?
Well, my baby at this point is www.freejazzlessons.com. That's sort of what I'm putting most of my time and energy into at this point. I've also got a personal website, and it's stevenixonmusic.net. So I can be reached through either channel. And so I would love to hear from any of your community members at any point, who are interested in music or just about online business, or even just want a new friend.
Awesome, dude. Hey, man, congrats on all the success. I wish you even more, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Pat. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to interview me, and I'd also like to give a shout out to the SPI community as well. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, dude. Thanks.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Steve Nixon from freejazzlessons.com. Now, I did follow up with Steve after the interview because I realized that we actually didn't get into the specifics on some of his numbers, and I know you're interested in that and you want to know how well he's doing. Well, as far as traffic, he's currently getting about 18,000 uniques per month, which is about 600 unique visitors coming to his site every single day, which is a good amount. And some of you might be like, oh, well, that's not really that much. Well, for one, it's all free traffic, again, primarily coming from YouTube. Secondly, it's highly targeted traffic. And I know a lot of people who would just be incredibly happy with even half that amount. And honestly, you don't need that many targeted people coming to your site to really make a difference and to make great sales and earn good money. As far as sales of his product, I totally respect Steve's request not to share specific numbers at this point in time. Totally cool with that. But since launching his product 2 months ago, he was able to tell me that he's had several hundred happy customers. So it sounds like he's doing really, really, really well. And of course, he's helping people discover jazz and music at the same time. And I'm a huge fan of music. I've been playing music for over 20 years now, mainly on the trumpet, and jazz was a good chunk of that. And so, Steve, thank you for sharing what you know with the world, making the internet a better place, and I hope you continue to be rewarded for what you do. Thank you. I'll have links to everything in the show notes. Of course, you can find that, as always, at smartpassiveincome.com/session52. Wonderful success story, one outside of the make money online niche, which I love. And there are so many success stories out there just like that. If you are one of them or you know one of them, shoot me an email. Just head on over to smartpassiveincome.com, find the contact form, and let me know. I get a ton of requests to be on the show and share stories, but I'm always looking for more, and I'd love to have you on and inspire even more people and show the world that you don't have to make money online only by teaching other people how to make money online or to blog. There's so many wonderful success stories. Scrapbooking, Lane Amon, who was on the show a number of episodes back. Everything. There's just so many possibilities out there. All right, and thanks again for all of your support. And in case you missed it, the Smart Passive Income podcast was featured in the New York Times, actually, at the end of November. So I'll have a link to that article in the show notes as well, so you can check that out. It was a very nice piece. I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity, and seriously, just a dream come true, all because I put myself out there and shared what I learned, just like Steve did. All right, so here's to a wonderful end of the year for you and your family and everybody that you know. If I don't speak to you or you don't hear from me again until 2013, have a wonderful holiday season, have a very happy new year, and let's do some amazing things in 2013. Talk to you then. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at www.smartpassiveincome.com.
Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? Record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips. Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. Look, I get it. You want to grow your business, but trying to sell to hundreds or even thousands of people gets very exhausting very fast. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? ScoreApp helps you sell to more people without adding more to your plate. You build a quiz or assessment that your audience actually wants to take. Then they answer a few quick questions and get a personalized result right away. It shows them where they're at and what they need to do next and how you can help. And you build huge amounts of trust before you make even a single offer. No hard sell, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. All you have to do is just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI.